what it is. Glad you guys came back to the channel. So I just wanted to talk about OBS Trucks and what causes this shift tube to break in these things quite often. I'm going to show you the two main things, or talk about the two main things that I see. And I'm sure there's some other stuff, and I'm sure guys will make comments in the comment section. That's fine. But this is what I find on most of these trucks, and trust me, I've owned, bought, and sold probably 1 million of these trucks. So anyway, two things that I find real common on these OBS trucks. When I say OBS, that's old body style. For you guys that don't get it, that's 92 to 96 F-Series pickups or cabin chassis, whatever. This is a 92 F-250, just a cabin chassis truck, and the shift tube is busted in it. Right now this truck's in park and the shift tube's broke. Two things I say. One is the shift interlock, where you have to put your foot on the brake, then you can take it out of park. I've seen something in the shift interlock as simple as a fuse is blown. Very rarely ever see the solenoid go bad. I have come across maybe 1 or 2 out of 100 trucks. And guys yank on them. And when they yank on them, it breaks the tube. The tube isn't much. It's just lightweight aluminum, almost like a pot metal, like a carburetor. It's just real, not heavy duty stuff. But the main thing that I find, especially with trucks we deal with here on the East Coast, which is where I'm at, East Coast, we deal with rust. We're in the rust belt. So what happens is this guy right here, neutral safety switch. So on this truck has an E4OD trans. So your shift tube, or your shifter rod, goes through here, and then your linkage hooks to your cable, which is then hooked up to here. What happens is that shaft that this slides over gets rusted. And what happens is over time the rust swells it up, and it swells up to the point where this switch it tightens it up. It makes it hard to turn. What happens is it'll start to get hard where you got to take it out of gear. You're like, man, this thing's a little stiffer than it should be. Well, what happens is nobody ever looks at it, or people don't know what's wrong with it, and they start yanking on it. And then eventually it just breaks. It breaks the shift tube. I have seen the half moon caps that hold the shift tube onto the modular column. I have seen them broke, or the screws back out. But that's not usually on a truck that's, I find that on trucks that guys use where they're in and out of it, in and out of gear all the time. Like I don't know, something that somebody's using in and out of park a lot of times. A sweeper truck where you're constantly in and out of the truck, or something of that nature. But most of the time it's the switch. The shaft just gets rust up, swelled up. So what we do is get the switch off, clean the shaft all up, put some grease on it, put this on it, and it usually fixes it. And then next thing you know, it's like butter. They started using this modular column, I believe, around in 92, definitely on the trucks in 92, and they carried it till, I don't know, I think 06, 07 or somewhere. I could be wrong, don't hold me to the numbers. But they went to that modular column, and it fits quite a few cars. Explorer, Mountaineer, Expedition, the F-Series trucks. Dorman sells a replacement shift tube. They're relatively cheap. But since they fit other cars and I have a slew of junk, this one's going to get one out of an Explorer just because we have one. But that's pretty much about it for today. I've got to go back and work on some junk so we can make some money, so we can do some cool videos on some of our projects, such as Bronco Cheapskate. But holler at me later, hit my like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.